everyone here today and welcome. I'm so excited to have everyone here today with me. We are actually going to learn all about Helen Keller today. But first, I want to let you know my name is Toby Line. I work for Microsoft here in Dallas, Texas, and I am a community trainer. But right now, what we're going to do is we are going to learn all about Helen Keller. I am Helen Keller. When I was little, I was just like you. I loved to play. I loved my dog. And I loved seeing all the bright, beautiful flowers. I also loved copying people. At 6 months old, I could already say, how'd I? And how do you do yourself? T, T, T. Did she just ask for tea? How'd she do that? What can I say? There's no stopping her. On the day I turned 1, I started walking. Oh, and there was another word I always loved. Wawa. Here's your water. Just like any other kid, right? But there's one thing that made me different. When I was 19 months old, I got very sick. The doctor said I wouldn't live. I did live, but the sickness made me blind and deaf. This is how I see the world. Close your eyes and block out your ears. I can see or hear anything. That's right, nothing. I know it may seem scary. It was scary for me too. Back then, people didn't know how to deal with someone who was deaf and blind. My relatives thought I was a monster. You see the way she behaves? She put her hand on my plate. She ate my food. She threw the silverware too. She's so poorly behaved, she shouldn't be here. Wah, 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 wah. She's trying to find her water. They were right. I wasn't well behaved. I was extremely frustrated. In my dark world, I couldn't tell if anyone noticed me or cared about me. I couldn't see or hear what I was doing. Oh, that must have been so scary. But by the time I was 5, I figured out small ways to communicate. To say yes, I'd nod my head. To say no, I shook it from side to side. To say father, I motioned to put on his glasses. For mother, I rested my hand on my face. For my baby sister, I did this. And when I was shivered like I was cold, it really meant Helen wants ice cream. But even with those signs, I couldn't get my dog Belle to play with me. I didn't know how to speak, so I couldn't call to her. I just wanted to play with my dog. The saddest part was I got used to a dark and silent world. People told my parents to give up on me, that I'd never be good at anything. They didn't listen though. After reading about another blind and deaf girl, my parents found something they hadn't had since I got sick: hope. This says here there are places that teach the deaf and blind children. That's what she needs. She needs a teacher. We all do. Everybody needs a teacher. Still, I have no idea what the world was about to bring me. I never had a more important day. I was 6 years old. From the way my mother was hurrying, I knew something big was coming. I stood on the porch, waiting to feel the sun on my face. Someone approached me. I could feel the footsteps. So I reached out, thinking it was my mother. She pulled me into her arms. Her name was Anne Sullivan. She's the teacher who changed my life. In one of her first lessons, she gave me a toy doll. After letting me play with it, she spelled out the word doll in the palm of my hand. D-O-L-L. Can you feel the letters? D-O-L-L. I could feel them, but I didn't know what letters or words were or how they worked. It didn't stop Miss Sullivan. One day we were arguing and she was trying to teach me the word for mug and water. I got upset. I took my new ball and smashed it to the ground. I got angry a lot back then. It was so hard for me. I was frustrated. Never losing her patience, my teacher took me outside. At a nearby spout, she put my hand under the running water. In my other hand, she spelled out the word Water. Then she spelled it again, Water. And again, Water. And again, Water. And again, Water. And again, Water. 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 You understand, don't you? You understand. I understood. From there, I realized that everything had a name. Every object I touched seemed to burst to life. Mother, dog, table, lamp, father, sister, teacher. And now, when I wrote those words in my teacher's hands, I had someone who could understand me. When you're learning something new, it's often hard. I started with words. My vocabulary grew fast. Eventually, I learned the meaning of the word love. I had given my teacher some flowers, so she spelled in my hand, I love Helen. Confused, I asked her, what is love? It is here, she spelled while tapping my heart. I was still confused. It was hard to understand something that I couldn't touch. It made no sense. Why couldn't my teacher show me love? But then she explained. You can't touch clouds, but you can feel the rain and know how happy flowers are about to get watered. That is how love is. You can't touch love, but you can feel it and feel how it makes you happy. There, in that moment, my whole world changed. It was as it was as if there were invisible lines that stretched between me and everyone else in my life. Close your eyes. You can feel it too. Your connection to your family and to your friends. Still, life was never easy. Without sight, I couldn't see people's faces. Without sound, I couldn't hear their voices. But one of the greatest breakthroughs came when I learned to do what you're doing now, reading. Read? Without eyes? How's she going to do that? You'll read with your fingers on this cardboard. You'll feel the raised dots. The dots make letters. The letters make words. This is the word for doll. To practice, I match up each word with its object and make sentences. This was my favorite game. We played it for hours. See if you can find the sentence, girl is in wardrobe. Well, we have to look around for that. So this one says, doll is on bed. That's not it. This one down here says, dog is smelly. Well, that's not it. This one says, sister is pooping. That's not it. This one here says, teacher is proud. That's awesome, but that's still not it. Up here, oh no, this says a book is falling. That's not it. Let's see. Here, flowers on desk. That's not it. Let's try this one. Girl is in wardrobe. There it is. We found it. Good job. From there, I started reading real books, just like you. The only difference was my books were in Braille, which is a series of raised dots that you can read with your fingers. At first, it feels bumpy, and then you get used to it. These dots spell my name, Helen. So this in Braille spells Helen. And then here's the whole Braille alphabet. That's a lot of letters. To make reading even more fun, my teacher took me outside. She knew I loved to feel the sun on my face and smelling the pine needles. I read my book so many times. I wore down the raised dots. Oh my gosh. Were the Arabian Nights, Robinson Crusoe, and one of my favorites, Little Women. I love Little Women. That's one of my favorite books too. In those pages, I met brave boys and girls who could hear and see. I'm not afraid of the storms, for I am learning how to sail my ship. One of the best lessons, one of Miss Sullivan's best lessons came when she showed me how the plants grow. Feel the buds. Some of the buds open fast, others open slowly. A flower can only bloom if it's watered. When I was 9 years old, I wanted to learn how to speak. Even Miss Sullivan was worried about teaching me. She thought I'd get frustrated, but nothing would stop me now. To help me, Miss Sullivan took me to a teacher named Sarah Fuller, who would put my hand to her face and let me feel her tongue and her lips with each sound she made. Yes, Helen, feel each sound, like the vibrating strings on a piano. In an hour, I learned the letters M and P and A and S and T and I. So what I want to do is let's put our fingers on our lips and say those letters. M and P and A, S, T, and I. Could you feel the difference? I could. Now I could call my dog and she would come to me. After my seventh lesson, I spoke this sentence, the one sentence that I would repeat over and over. I am not done now. As I got older, I didn't just learn to speak English, I learned French and German. For college, I wanted to go to Radcliffe at Harvard University. Maybe she should wait another year. Deaf and blind people don't go to college. I'm going. I wouldn't argue. There's no stopping her. At Harvard, most of my books weren't available in Braille, so Miss Sullivan spelled out many of my textbooks in my hand. That's how much I loved learning, and that's how patient and selfish Miss Sullivan was. I became the first deaf and blind person to earn a college degree. I wouldn't be the last. As I grew older, I wrote 12 books and visited 34 countries. Wow, that's a lot. But the most important thing I did was to make sure that the other people with disabilities could get the same education I had. My family had money to hire a private teacher. Not everyone is that lucky. We need to give every person an equal chance. There she is. She's so strong. Today, thousands of deaf and blind students enroll in university thanks to the work Helen did. Riding a horse? How does she do that? Oh, wow, that'd be weird. That'd be hard, really hard. That was only the beginning. I didn't just help the deaf and blind, I started fighting for social change, to help women vote, to help the poor survive, and to help the people who needed it the most. She was one of the earliest supporters of the ACLU to fight for free speech. She was also one of the first supporters of the NAACP to help Black people get equal rights as well. She met every president from Grover Cleveland to Lyndon B. Johnson. That's a lot of presidents. Let's be honest, they met her. Today, the American Foundation for the Blind and Helen Keller International continue to help the blind and the hungry. In my life, they said I was different. They said I'd never be normal. But the truth is, there's no such thing as a normal life. Every one of us is like a flower that must be watered. Every one of us is full of potential, and every one of us can overcome obstacles. Look at me, hear my words. I may not be able to see, but I have vision. I may not be able to hear, but I have a voice. Think of your life, think of your life as a hill that must be climbed. There's no correct path to get to the top. We all zigzag in our own ways. At some point, you'll slip, you'll fall, you'll tumble back down again. But if you get back up and keep climbing, I promise you will reach the top. Don't let anything hold you back. Our lives are what we make of them. There will always be obstacles, but there will always be ways around them. I am Helen Keller, and I won't let anything stop me. Wow, what an amazing story! This is a little bit of a timeline of Helen Keller. Oh, and one last thing. Go say thank you to a teacher who helped you when you needed it the most. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched, but it can be felt in the heart. So these are some different pictures of Helen throughout the years. You can see her smelling the flowers. There she is at age 8 with Anne Sullivan. You can see Helen with her dog. And then you can see Helen hearing Eleanor Roosevelt by touching her moving lips. So this is an incredible timeline that shows how amazing Helen Keller was. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope everyone learned a lot and was truly inspired by Helen Keller. Happy Women's History Month. I hope everyone enjoyed, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you.